XXIO is a company that knows exactly who their customer is, and they make product for that specific customer. To talk a little bit more about that, we've got Chuck Thiry, Vice President of XXIO. And Chuck, I kind of wanted to go all the way back before we even get into the product, the beautiful product that's behind us, what the company is, who they serve, and give people a look at how the company started, because this is an interesting story. XXIO didn't initially start as a club manufacturer for what we have behind us, right?
Yeah, 100% right. Thank you for asking. I love telling the story of XXIO, Tom. Basically, our company, Dunlop Sports, is a large kind of conglomerate that owns 4 different golf brands. They own Cleveland Golf, they own Srixon, they own XXIO, and they own Never Compromise. And then throughout the globe, really, around the globe, we manage different other golf brands as well. So we've got our hands in a lot of different things. We started making golf balls as early as in the 1930s and have been making them ever since. We're owned by a large tire and rubber company. So golf balls were kind of our first entry into golf. And then as years went by, we developed some pretty good technology on the golf club side. Matter of fact, XXIO actually has more worldwide golf patents than any other company, both on individual components and for whole clubs. But to your point, to the kind of back to the story, so during the 80s and 90s, our company was the distributor in Asia for all Callaway products. And we were happy to do so. They were a very nice company. And then towards the end of the 90s, they ended those global relationships with companies. They had grown to a point where they wanted standalone subsidiaries. So we lost that business, and it left a pretty big hole in our company. So if you know anything about Japanese companies, they are really big on engineering and technology and not as big on marketing. So we have a whole company full of engineers. And essentially the president of the company went to this group of engineers in 1998 or 1999 and said, we're in a jam. We just lost all that Callaway business, and we want to replace it with our own brand, and we want you to create the best possible brand you can. Forget about the price, just throw everything you have at it from a technology standpoint. And by the year 2000, we introduced XXIO, and within about 18 months, it became the #1 brand in Asia. So it went up extremely quick, and we got real full of ourselves in a hurry. And you know, the basic premise behind the brand, what really makes us different, is lightweight. Yeah. We're not really just a little bit lighter than other brands. We're quite a bit lighter.
Yeah, and that brings us to what I opened with was, you know exactly who your demographic is, and that's who you make clubs for. I think that's very important, that you're not trying to cast a wide net. Who is the demographic, and how do you serve that customer?
Yeah, thanks. Another great question. Our focus 100% is on women and seniors. Yep. And we're not afraid to say that. I'm one, right? I'm a senior myself. So when you make lightweight equipment, that's the group that you serve the best. Most women and seniors struggle with speed. Mm-hmm. That's it. And as we age, like I have, and we lose speed, you start to see that the golf ball comes back towards you, the distances get shorter, the distance to the green gets longer, and the ball flight gets lower. It flattens out. When you look at a bunch of seniors on a driving range, you'll see much flatter ball flight than you would with young guys. And so by giving them lighter equipment and counterbalanced equipment, high balance point equipment, we help them get some of that speed back that they had a few years ago. And it really works. You know, we would invite any of your viewers or people that follow Carl's Golfland to give it a few swings. I can talk about it for days, but if you swing it a few times, you'll get it right away. Sure. You'll notice it.
Yeah, I think it's important too that, like I said, you're targeting a specific client, a specific golfer, and you're able to take all those years. You said 2000, since 2000 now, that you're able to take all those years of research and fine-tune exactly what that golfer needs to now create the most recent product that we have with Prime. And then we'll get into the Prime Royal, because I'm sure people can see the gold flashing behind us. Right. But what is the feedback when seniors and women do hit this? Is there a noticeable difference for them?
Yeah, you understand us extremely well. So if you just start with the weights of the product, the average head on a driver in the market today weighs about 210 grams.
Right.
The XXIO Prime head weighs about 188, so pretty significantly lighter. The average driver shaft out there is probably somewhere between 48 and 58 grams. The XXIO Prime shaft is 35 grams. Even to the grip, the average grip on the marketplace is like 50 to 55 grams. Ours is 26 and a half grams. Wow. So we're super specific in the way we engineer the golf club. And to your point, you can be that way when you're only focusing on a portion of the market, right? We're not trying to be all things to all people. What we're trying to be is the best possible golf clubs for women and the best possible golf clubs for seniors. And it takes different methods. You can't engineer golf clubs for slow swinging players the same way you would a tour player. You can't even think about it.
I think it's important too to add that this is premium product. It's materials that the irons have titanium faces. You've got the biflex face on the driver. You've got a draw bias on the driver. There are technologies and materials that you're using, not only specific to the senior, but that are modern technologies as well.
Yeah, you nailed it again. When you're trying to give the golfer speed back, ultimately you're looking for materials that are both strong and lightweight. Yep. You know, for an engineer, that's kind of the holy grail. When they can have a material that's very lightweight but still strong, they've really got something they can work with there. So that's what we're trying to do.
I mentioned the Prime Royal Edition, the gold-plated driver and fairway wood we have behind us. What is the rationale behind this club? Why is this part of the offering, and how successful has it been for you?
Yeah. Okay. So let me walk through both parts that you mentioned. So first, when you talk about Prime, we like to call our Prime golf club with the new Prime 13, which is coming out now, the XXIO of XXIO. So sure. if our brand is lightweight and soft, Prime is really lightweight and soft. So with Prime, we really target men and women who swing the golf club below 75 miles an hour. And then Prime Royal Edition is for those golfers that want that lightweight performance, but they really like to own the best. They like the bling. You mentioned the gold plating. So yeah, all the Prime Royal Edition golf clubs, the ones that you can see sparkling up here, have what's called an ion gold plating in them. And ion gold is another way of combining materials, the ion process, combining materials that result in a very lightweight and strong material. But they also give the golf club all the bling.
Right.
So when you really look at them, they're full of bling, but they're lighter, they're softer, they cause tremendous ball flight. But it's for somebody that, you know, if I leave here in my old rust bucket and you leave here in your Ferrari, we're going to end up getting to the store at the same time,
right?
But you're going to feel a lot better driving there.
That's right.
And that's kind of what Royal Edition is all about. It's for people that want something special.
Yeah. And Prime 13, you mentioned the newest edition. We talked a little bit about technology and materials, and you said engineers as well. The company is filled with engineers. How do you continue to evaluate performance with these clubs and continue to evolve with innovation as well?
And you ask all the right questions. So, because I love telling these stories. I told you a minute ago that the brand really started in the year 2000. So we are now on our 25th generation of golf clubs. So we have two lines, the regular XXIO 13 line and then the Prime and Prime Royal Edition lineup. And every other year we reintroduce one. So everything has a 2-year life cycle. So that means we're 25 generations down this lightweight process. There are companies now that are getting into lightweight or have been for the last few years.
Sure.
But we started doing it in 2000, and our engineers, there's a process in Japan, a business process. It's called Kaizen. And Kaizen is making the next product incrementally better than the last product. It's about continuous improvement. So we're an interesting company. We don't pay particular attention to the competitors. That's not out of a lack of respect. There's great competitors out there. But our engineers are kind of trained to constantly improve the products we have so that every generation is a little bit better than the last one. So to your point, we're not really just lightweight anymore. Several generations ago, we started looking at, all right, what are some of the technologies that would go well with lightweight? What else does our golfer need? And if you look at the crown on our golf clubs, particularly on our woods, you'll feel actually some indentations and some rises on the golf club. That's called active wing. One of the other things that you know about a golfer who's losing speed is they tend to miss ball to right field. So active wing works like a wing on a sports car. It actually kind of funnels the wind and that you create on your golf swing and helps square the club face at impact. So we do that. We also have high balance point several years ago. Again, lightweight, there is a point of diminishing return. You can only go so light. So we are way more focused now on what are the technologies that go best with lightweight. So counterbalancing a golf club, if you talk to a consumer, they will generally talk about XXIO as a lightweight golf club. If you talk to a XXIO employee, they will call it a lightweight high balance point golf club. So we add a little weight at the end of the grip, either with brass weights or with a heavier grip end, a grip plug on the end, and that counterbalances the golf club, makes it easier for a slower swinging player to control the golf club and keep it on path. Like when you just think logically, again, we design golf clubs for people my age and older and for women. Okay, we're not 34. We're not in the gym for 6 hours a day. We're not tour players. We're not as strong as some of the other players out there. So by counterbalancing the golf club and putting a little weight actually outside of the hands, it makes it easier to swing, easier to deliver square. And in the end, the more times we can deliver the golf club square and create center hits, the better we're all going to play. So there's a lot to the golf club. All the technologies you mentioned are a part of it, and it's just been 25 years of evolution, trying to make the next product a little better than the last one.
Chuck, you mentioned the thought that you focus really on what XXIO does, not really the competitors. What is the philosophy at XXIO when you see the competition coming out with whether it's lightweight clubs or high launch clubs? What's your philosophy on, do you need to combat against that?
Well, we always have to respect the competitors and we have to be aware of them for sure. So it's a very good question. And there's a lot of wonderful competitors out there in the golf space. But I would say in many regards, our job is easier because we focus just on this one particular type of player, right? This moderate swing speed men and women. What our competitors do, and they do a nice enough job, but they're trying to be all things to all people. And many of them are good at it. But when you're really trying to just develop something for this subset of golfers, and it's a significant subset. I mean, women make up now 25% of the players that play the game. Seniors play by far the most amount of golf, by far. They play way more rounds than the rest of us just because they have time. But when you are just focused on that group, as an example, I think maybe a simple way to understand this is most manufacturers will develop one head and one weight, and they will use different shafts to make it fit all different players. We don't do that. Matter of fact, we don't recommend that you ever put a different shaft in our golf club. Our golf club is made specifically for this type of player, a common type of player, right? Moderate swing speed players. And we think it's perfect for them. So we're not really trying to take the same golf club and make it for a tour player. We're trying to make this for the average player, the person that has the same needs I do. My ball flight is coming down, I'm hitting it a little shorter than I'd like to, and my misses are to right field. So if that's all you think about, we should be able to outperform the competitors, right?
Yeah. Kaizen.
25
years of innovation continuing to develop awesome products for senior and women at XXIO.